Right, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another reaction. Today we got a video from History Matters. Why didn't Spain get more in the scramble for Africa? This video is going to be interesting, so yeah, let's jump straight into this one, man.
Spain was one of the world's most successful imperial powers, having conquered much of South America. The wealth it gained from this empire made it Europe's most powerful nation for a time. But in the late 19th century, when the great powers of Europe opted to carve up Africa between themselves, Spain, despite its history, was only apportioned these lands. Which raises the question, why? Why didn't Spain get more of Africa? So a quick thing to note about the Berlin Conference. It wasn't something which created immutable borders that everyone agreed to and would stick to forever after. It was just a forum to set out principles and let countries work it out between themselves, hopefully without warfare.
Right, okay, that makes sense.
Didn't get much was fairly simple. It didn't meet the two criteria the countries involved in the conference had largely agreed to. The first of which was a nation's historic claim to any of the land. If you previously had any outposts, forts or settled any regions, you'd have a strong claim. And this is where Spain fell short. As many of you will know, when Europeans were exploring the world and seeing which parts of it they wanted for themselves, the Spanish and Portuguese reached a deal. And this was formalised under the guidance of the Pope in the Treaty of Tordesillas, which split the world into two. The Spanish half and the Portuguese half. Which you'll notice contains Africa, hence why Spain never made much of an effort to settle or conquer it. Now,
that makes
Spain
sense.
did have some lands in northern Africa which were respected by the conference, and it also had these lands off the western coast which under an agreement with France became...
Hey, look, at least it got a couple, you know. At least it got a little bit. It didn't get nothing at all.
This was basically all Spain would get, but as you'll note, there were many nations
in
Africa that also got territory. For example, Belgium, which had only existed for like 5 minutes at this point. And there were also states which did have historic links to the region, like the Netherlands, who got nothing. And the reason why is the second criteria, which countries could enforce their claims. The Dutch had a claim to southern Africa, but it was currently under the control of Britain, who needed it to keep shipping lanes open to India. And Britain was more than willing to fight a war to keep it that way. Spain, to use a technical term, was broke by this point. As such, Spain couldn't afford the immense costs of creating and defending any large colonies in Africa, and it had done very little in the way of exploration. And for Spain, things only got worse after 1884. Spain's economy didn't improve for decades, the country was politically divided, and its international prestige was all but gone. Now, Spain did want territory, and hoped to gain more of it from Morocco.
Okay, now you won't think that Spain was like a fucking... like one of the biggest, most powerful empires. They seem like they seem like they're just so little.
Whereas France had other ideas. France opted to acknowledge the Spanish claim to this and gave it economic access to Morocco in return for the Spanish helping them put down rebellions. And in the end, this was all Spain got. It didn't have any recognised historic claims to the continent.
Spain
it didn't have the economic or military power to enforce any new ones. And unlike Belgium and Portugal, it didn't have the international goodwill to play the greater powers off of each other for their own benefit.
That was pretty interesting. History Matters always makes amazing videos. I really do like these. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video too. Make sure you leave a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Comment any videos down below that you want me to react to. And I'll see you all in the next video.